While this is absolutely insane to see, Concord reportedly cost a record-breaking $400 million. PlayStation thought it was the next Star Wars. We heard rumors that the game was being what? $100 million, $110 million is how much it cost? But supposedly now, $400 million. Absolutely insane. According to a new report, Concord was an even bigger flop than we thought. The latest unofficial information about the game comes the way of Colin Moriarty, the founder of Last Stand Media, a former IGN journalist, and one of the leading experts on PlayStation in the industry. According to Colin, Concord cost $400 million to make, start to finish, the most expensive game in PlayStation history. And it was given this budget because Sony thought it was going to be absolutely massive. The problem with Sony is, whoever works there, depending whichever development and division they're in, a lot of them don't know anything. You know, look at their movie slate when they go, we're going to create a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man. And the films they put out there, Madam Web, Morbius, and to some extent the Venom films, which they're not Venom from the Spider-Man universe, it's just a romantic comedy with Venom in them. And obviously Kraven the Hunter, which has been pushed back God knows how many times. And they just messed up the Spider-Man universe, they just have. Then there was the Bond thing. So many things, they just think everything they do is going to be great and gold. It's not. This is another example. Someone who worked on Concord reached out to me, verified who this person was, and talked to this person extensively. Concord cost about $400 million. Moriarty continues, revealing that the PlayStation began working with Firewalk Studios on Concord back in 2020, though development on the game had begun before this. This was just when it caught the eye of PlayStation, who decided to get involved. So, Firewalk Studios, this was actually their first game as well, and I can see this studio just being disbanded and gone, just dissolved, because if this is your first game and it costs that much money and you lost every single penny, no one wants you. People are not going to buy your game, they're just not. How it ended up costing $400 million involves PlayStation having to outsource much of its development, which can, and in this case was, a very expensive undertaking late in the game's development. It's unclear how much of the $400 million came straight from Sony's pocket, as it wasn't involved in the beginning of the game's development, but at $400 million, it is the most expensive game ever released under the PlayStation umbrella. Moriarty continues that revealing the game grossed just $1 million. Oh my god, it only grossed $1 million. Ooh, that is absolutely shocking. Which means it lost the entire $400 million budget. This also makes it the biggest loss ever for PlayStation. As you can tell by a loss of this size, PlayStation clearly had no idea this was coming. According to Moriarty as well, Concord was heavily championed behind the scenes. In fact, Moriarty claims that Sony viewed, verbatim, that Concord was the future of PlayStation. Whoever is making these decisions behind the closed doors and the higher-ups, they need to get rid of them, because these people are just stupid. They have no idea what gamers want, and this just goes to show it, because they showed a cinematic trailer, which I actually thought, this looks great. Is this going to be a single player? What is it? At the end of it, oh, Concord, PvP, multiplayer. That was it. I'm telling you, if they wanted to make this like Star Wars, as you can see by there, they had such major ambitions for this game that it was internally referred to as a Star Wars-like project for Sony. It could be repeatedly revisited over and over and over again. So with that part by there, for me, that just goes to show that Sony were just like, ooh, yeah, we can just keep rinsing money. That's all they care about. They don't think about making a game that players will want to come back to it. They've just gone, oh yes, the future of PlayStation. We're going to be making games for this for the next generation. That's exactly how this comes about. And this is how it comes forward to a lot of people, myself included. Sadly, when you decided to do it as a PvP and a 4v4 or 5v5, whatever it is, and you don't throw a story mode in there, and actually have a good story to tell, this is what you get. Obviously, everyone has made fun of the game as well, just because of the cast of characters, because when you look at them, it's like, I don't want to play as that. You know, I don't want to play as that person. If you're going into a game which is a shooting game, you want to look the coolest guy there. You know, it doesn't matter about guy, woman, whatever. You want to look like the most badass character. That's what you want to do. The characters they had here, it was like, yeah, no one's going to play as these people. And they didn't. Selling only 12,500 copies is absolutely insane. But we know that Sony, they mess up on everything. Like we were saying, their Spider-Man universe, their James Bond movies. If Sony had their way, they would just churn them out every single year, and they wouldn't care if they were good or not. They would just like, get it out there. People go because it's the name. That's all they care about. And to be honest with you, that's one of the worst things and one of the baddest intentions for a company to go to a franchise. When you've got an existing IP and one is as lucrative as Spider-Man or anything like that, you do not want to ruin it because you will see it be dug and just thrown in the ground, like Star Wars with Disney. That's what you got. Let me know what you think about this down below, guys. It's absolutely insane. It cost $400 million to make and it only grossed $1 million. That's insane. Let me know what you think about this down below, guys. Have a nice weekend and I will see you soon.